Okay, this is going to be a big week. We have things happening in Washington, D.C. that will impact Utah, but we also have the governor calling a special session. Our legislature is meeting. Various items have been discussed and will continue to be discussed. Let's just go down the line, all right? Let's talk about what you think the big issue is coming and what to watch. We're going to start with you, Boyd.
Oh, I thought Lisa was going to get that first swing. So.
We're going to give her a chance to get ready.
I think one of the interesting things that we need to continue to watch is all of the ballot initiatives. Robert mentioned that earlier. There's a host of them going on. I think one that will have a lot of attention rolling into next year is the Our Schools Now, the ballot initiative to raise the income tax and raise the sales tax for more funding for school. It's going to be an interesting debate there because there's a lot focused on the money itself, but the bigger question is where does that go? Recognizing that even if we move from 50th in per pupil spending to 49th, does that really make a difference for a child in a classroom? And so I think the debate will really be around the innovation component, and I think that's where the discussion should be. We have some great innovative teachers and administrators in this state. We need to make sure they're getting unleashed and being able to do things, a lot of things that actually don't require a whole lot of money, amazingly.
The legislature's always been eager to see more accountability on where the money's spent. They're not so eager to raise the money, so
that's right.
Maybe it's a 1-2 punch. Maybe the Our School Now initiative can raise the money, and then the legislature can come back and do the accountability portion of it. The problem is they sometimes get into micromanaging that. I think the other thing on the initiatives, though, I think the redistricting initiative, I think, is one that former Mayor Ralph Becker has been pushing, and I think that's going to get a little bit of more higher profile now because of the Supreme Court case that's coming up and on the Wisconsin gerrymandering issue.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. This enduring bias test of sorts in these redistricting and gerrymandering.
Better do the marijuana initiative.
I was going to say there's also cannabis.
Also that.
And the question with having 4 initiatives on the ballot, if indeed Count My Vote goes to the ballot, which everyone seems to think it will, what does that tell voters? That's a lot to sort through. 4 big issues. Do you want to raise your taxes for schools? Do you want to legalize medical marijuana? Do you want to deal with redistricting? I mean, by the time you explain to somebody what redistricting is, you may have lost them. And then, of course, Count My Vote is similar in some ways. You know, SB 54 insiders are really attuned to that. But the general public is still confused by this and can't figure out why stories keep appearing with those words.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they are confused. I don't think these are that esoteric issues for voters. I mean, school funding and cannabis, I think, are pretty cut and dry. I think the 2 election issues are maybe a little bit more complicated. But I think they also they don't cut against each other. I think they reinforce each other. And you know, I've said before, I think the fact that we have these 4 issues that generally have broad public support and can't get anywhere in the legislature, so we're going to the ballot initiative, kind of shows that the legislature is missing the ball on this.
I think that may be the story out of all of these initiatives is initiatives are the least effective way to govern because there's no chance for debate, amendment. Grand compromises don't exist. It's an all or nothing vote. But to Robert's point, sometimes if a legislature becomes content or comfortable playing small ball in terms of what they actually legislate, then you do get citizens who get frustrated, and that is their recourse, their way to engage.
And I think it goes to what we were talking about with the Count My Vote, where the legislature is listening to the delegates and not to the constituents, and so the delegates don't necessarily like any of these issues, right? But the constituents seem to, according to the polling. So I think that's going to be really interesting to watch play out.
I still wonder, though, if the public, when faced with 4 different questions on the ballot, is just going to say, you know, we have a legislature that's dominated by the party that most of the voters belong to or support. If this needed to be done, it would be done. We saw that with tax initiatives many years ago. People actually voted against lowering their taxes because a lot of people came out and said, no, don't do this. The legislature will take care of what's needed for the state.
There could be a fifth initiative too. I'm hearing the one that would expand Medicaid through a legislative initiative, and so that's one to watch as well.
Wow. Turns out we do have a lot going on. We're watching it closely. Thank you for your insights on these issues. Appreciate it.